It is one of the most exciting times of year right now. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? I've been waiting 4 years for this. It's the 2018 World Cup. Every 4 years, I go psycho. I was born in England, so I support England, the Three Lions. Parents are French, Belgian, so I also back them up. But England is the team for me. And every time the World Cup comes around, I like to show off my memory skills with knowledge about the World Cup that I just have memorized over the years. For example, who was the very first World Cup winner? Uruguay in 1930 against Argentina 4-2, which took place in Montevideo, Uruguay. How many times has Italy won the World Cup? Actually, they won it 4 times in 1934, 1938, 1982, and 2006. Has England ever won the World Cup? Yes, they won it in 1966 against Germany 4-2, well, West Germany 4-2 at Wembley Stadium. Can you list the past 5 champions in a row? Germany, then before that Spain, then before that Italy, then before that Brazil, then before that France. Damn, son. All right, so let me show you how to memorize World Cup champions. Now, I was thinking about this a lot. I was wondering what would be the best thing to show you in a video. Is it knowing all the champions in order? Is it maybe knowing which countries have won, how many times? But I think the coolest one would be if somebody could say the year of a World Cup and you would instantly come back with the champion winner. So technically, you know all the countries who have won and what years they won. So if I said Brazil, you could say, okay, they won 5 times and the 5 years that they actually won the championship. If I said, did Netherlands ever win? You would be like, no, because you know all of the championship winners and Netherlands have never won. They've been to the finals though. To be able to do this, since there are numbers involved, you need to be somewhat familiar with a number system. There's a video that I've done in the past teaching what's called the major system. That's the quickest, easiest way to learn how to memorize numbers. I'll link it in the description. Now, if you watched it, but maybe you don't remember what the major system was, I'm gonna put it up here in the corner as a reference for the rest of this video so that you know how to convert numbers into letters. And that's the whole point. We convert numbers into letters and those letters make words. And so we picture the words. So what we're gonna do is basically take an image to represent the country, and that'll be easy because we just think of the first thing that comes to mind when we think of that country. It could be a stereotype, it can be food, it can be something cultural, whatever comes to mind, we'll come up with it together. And then we're gonna associate that image with images for the year or the multiple years that they've won, translated into words using the major system. Smash those together, and that's pretty much it. First things first, there's a couple World Cup things you need to know before we start memorizing. One is that there's only been 20 World Cups since 1930, which is when it started. There was a bit of a gap between 1938 and the next one, which was in 1950 for obvious reasons, but there's only been 20 overall. Cool. The second thing you need to know, and this makes it even easier to memorize this, is that there's only been 8 different countries that have won the World Cup over these 20 championships. We'll memorize them properly, but it's Spain, England, France, Brazil, Italy, Germany, Argentina, and Uruguay. Some of those were West Germany at the time, but let's just consider them Germany. So what's gonna happen is I'm going to say the country, and we'll start with the country that's won the least and go up to the one that's won the most. I'll help you come up with a picture for the country, and then however many championship years they've had, we'll come up with a word to represent the 2-digit year. So we have a 2-digit number, and some of these countries have multiple 2-digit numbers, right? Because they've won many times. We'll just come up with a picture for that, and then we'll associate the 2 together. It's pretty easy. You're just gonna make a really weird, crazy story, and you'll have it stuck.
Hey, let's go!
All right, the first one is Spain. And they've only won it once. They won it in 2010, which was in South Africa. All I care about is the number 10. You just gotta recognize 10 and associate it with Spain. The image for the number 10, 1-0, using our system here is gonna be toes. A 1 and a 0, that's a T or a D and an S or a Z. I like to think of toes. What do I think of for Spain? For Spain, I'm gonna think of a bullfighter in his whole getup, and he's got the cape that's red, everything. And charging him are a series of toes. Maybe they've got horns because they look like bulls, to help you remember, but there's multiple toes, plural, right? Just coming one after the other, and they're each kind of like this menacing toe-shaped bull. Okay, so we have Spain, toes. Spain, 10. Spain, winner of the 2010 World Cup. Next, my favorite, it's England, of course. This was 1966. There's that one lone star. They've only won 1 championship, so we just got that one 2-digit number, 66. Using my system again, the word that I like to choose for 6-6 is judge. So my picture for England is Big Ben. So I'm gonna picture a judge with his gavel and his robe, whatever, at the top of Big Ben, slamming down his gavel and making judgment upon all those who have committed sin. So we're in England, picture it there, picture Big Ben and that judge sitting on top of the tower. All right, the next one, another single winner is France. My dad's French, so I have a soft spot for these guys. Allez les Bleus! And they won their World Cup in 1998. So all I care about is the 9-8, 98. 9-8 in my system here translates to beef, which is pretty fitting because when I go to France, I'm under the Eiffel Tower, I usually go to a restaurant where I'm eating steak frite, so that's beef, right? So imagine that there is a big beef steak frite going on and you're sitting under the Eiffel Tower, it's romantic, there's a guy playing the accordion, you got a baguette under your arm, all the really cheesy stuff. In France, you're eating beef under the Eiffel Tower. All right, the next one is going to be a 2 championship winner, and the country is Uruguay, and they won a long time ago, 1930, the first ever, and 1950. So all I gotta remember is the 30 and the 50. Using my system again, 30 could be mouse, 50 could be lace. So my image for that could be like a mouse lacing up his shoes, right? It's got a mouse with a lace and he's tying it. Now Uruguay, it's a bit tricky. It doesn't stand out as much with obvious images like England, France, Spain, but for Uruguay, their emblem is the sun. Picture the sun burning this mouse as he's tying his lace on the surface of this sun. The next one is Argentina. They also won twice in 1978 and 1986. So we have to remember 78 and 86. So the words using my system again, for 78 could be cave, and for 86 could be fish. Argentina, I think of the tango. I think of this couple really dressed beautifully and sexy, whatever, with a rose in the woman's mouth. The guy's dipping her. They're doing the tango to some really tango-esque song. Cave and fish. So let's imagine that they're tangoing into a cave, and somehow as he dips her, she actually nabs some fish out of this little pool that's in the cave. So this couple doing the tango, cave fish. The big guns now. Italy has won 4 times. They won, as I said before, in 1934, 1938, 1982, and 2006, which is pretty recent. For those 4 years, right, I have to have 34, 38, 82, and 06. So my words for those will be mower, the lawnmower, movie, fan, and sash. So 4 words, a little harder, but I just gotta come up with a picture to string them all together. So imagine you're mowing the lawn, you got a mower, right? And your friend calls you up to go to the movie. You're a huge fan of this movie. Maybe it's a real Italian flick about food and romance. It's in black and white.
Allora, I know what it means. Allora, you say it all the time. Allora, hey, what are you doing? Allora, what does it mean?
It's just, yeah. So you have this mower, you go to the movie, because you're a huge fan of Italian movies, you wear a sash kind of around you because you're like this director wannabe in your fancy pants and you go to this movie. Mower, movie, fan, sash. And to tie it to Italy, right, we're gonna have an image for Italy. Like I said, it could be an Italian movie. Think of like the language, the food, the. Picture that all in one, and that's the movie you're going to see that you're a huge fan of, that you wear the sash at after you go mowing. Let's move on to Germany. They have also won 4 times, and most recently in 2014. So the years that they won, I believe, were 1954, 1974, 1990, and 2014. 54, 74, 90, and 14. Germany makes me think of Oktoberfest, that kind of thing. For 54, we have lure. For 74, we have car. 90, we have bus. 14, we have tire. Lure, car, bus, tire. Let me imagine that I'm lured to an Oktoberfest festival. I get in my car, I get hit by a bus, tires go flying everywhere. Maybe your tires are made of pretzels, German Bavarian pretzels. All right, the last champion, and they've won the most, 5, it's Brazil, right? So Brazil, for that country, I think of Carnival. People dressed up to the nines, women with big feather contraptions on their head and sparkly clothes doing the samba. So the 5 years that they won were 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, and 2002. Okay, so we have 5 words there. That's kind of stretching us to the limit here, but we can do it. So for those 5 years, I'm gonna come up with 5 words. lava, chain, gas, bear, and sun. We somehow got to link this all into a story. So let's imagine that there's lava everywhere, right? Maybe it's carnival, right? People are parading down the streets, they're dancing samba, all dressed up, and some lava is chasing after them down the street. What makes it worse is that everybody is chained to the ground. So there's lava, chains, gas, all right? Maybe as this lava goes down, these gas tanks explode and gas is simply everywhere, so everybody's getting drowsy. And to make matters even worse and totally bizarre but memorable, I want you to picture this giant grizzly bear, massive, also chasing down the people, and he is holding the sun in his hands as if he's gonna throw it on these people. What did the Brazilians do? Oh my God. All right, so we have the Brazilians doing samba, whatever. They're trying to escape the lava, the chains, the gas, the bear, and the sun, the red hot sun.
Wait a minute.
I know what you're thinking, Nelson, I don't really know the major system. So if somebody says to me, who won in 1938, how am I gonna know? You just taught me how to memorize a bunch of words related to a country. Yes, true. You kind of have to know this major system. I recommend you take 5 minutes to just learn it. It's not that hard. And with a bit of practice, you'll know it. At least with the pictures that I gave you, it's in your head, right? The hard part is now just to translate it. So if I say 1938, knowing the major system, you got to think, okay, 3 is an M, 8 is a F or V sound. So I should know movie, right? And when I think of movie, what do I think of? I think of Italy, right? Because that was part of my story, right? That was with the mower, the movie, the fan, the sash, and I was going to see Italian movies. So if you can do that process quick, and you can, or you take your time, you don't need to ask Google or Alexa, you can just think for a moment and figure it out. So 1938, 38 is movie. Movie was part of my story for Italy. Italy won in 1938, my friend. All right, that's it, guys. I hope that was helpful. All you have to do is watch this video and you suddenly know all the championship winners of the World Cup over the entire history. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helped. Enjoy the World Cup. I love this thing, so I'll be rooting for England. If they lose, I'll then default to France. If you like this video, please press that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'm out.